Hi guys, welcome back to the Synchro workshop. It's the weekend, so we get to work with some toys instead of regular stuff. And in this video, we're going to go through swapping out the springs, the factory springs, for some upgraded ones on our 2022 RC X3. So we've got a lot of upgrades and stuff on the car because it is obviously an Ultra 4 racer, so we've added quite a bit of weight, which means that the factory springs aren't quite as good as they were when she was lightweight. So we needed some heavier duty ones that form better with all the extra weight and with what we're doing with it as well. So let's get to it.
Okay, so this is our car. We're running the standard shocks and springs there on the front, and then the same here on the back. We're running the limit straps as well, as you can see there, the blue straps. And I kind of wish we'd washed the car off before we'd started. So these are the springs that we're fitting. They're the Shock Therapy dual rate ones. We picked them up directly from Shock Therapy, gave them our corner weights, and they sent these out. Okay, so the first job's pretty straightforward, obviously. Wheel off, as you can see, and then it was just a case of taking the lower shock mount bolt out, and then that lets the shock move freely, so that you can get the lower cup off and then disassemble the springs and stuff. We're doing a little extra work at the same time here, so you know, it took us a little bit longer, but once that lower bolt's out, you can move the shock up and down and work with it pretty easily. Once you've got the lower mount out and you've got the shock free, then it's just a case of removing the tension on the springs, which means unwinding the lock nuts at the top. So there's two lock nuts, or there's two nuts at the top. One's a lock nut, and then one is the actual tensioner. And it's just a case of loosening those right off and getting as much tension off the springs as possible. I'm just sort of unwinding the springs, and that's helping unwind the nut as well, because the tension on the spring is actually winding the nut for me, so it just makes it a ton easier if you can grab the spring, which is something nice and easy to grab a hold of, rather than trying to grab the nut. So winding all the tension off the spring, and once I've got it backed off, then I've got something to play with. Once I'd wound the springs to the point where they're as loose as possible, I still had tension on the spring, so I couldn't disassemble the lower cup and remove the spring. So I got a trusty ratchet strap and basically ratcheted the springs to compress them, and I didn't need to do it very much, but that gave me enough space then to pull the lower cup out and disassemble the shock or the springs off of the shock, which is a pretty straightforward job. It's once you've got the tension off, then there's a cup at the lower side of the shock that you just pull out, and the whole thing just sort of falls apart. So we've got the shocks in pieces, springs off, and it's just leaving the shock absorber itself. And you can see there I've got the lock nuts wound right to the top, and everything's disassembled. Old springs there on the left hand side, new front upper, they're labelled as well, which is handy, because it's tough work guessing otherwise. And at this point now, we're just cleaning the shocks up, cleaning the threads up, because we know we're going to have to move the crossover rings, which are the two nuts just there in shot above the wire brush now. So we want the threads to be clean so we can move those. Quick comparison of the springs. So that's the front lowers in comparison. You can see the bottom spring there is the new front lower, and the one in my left hand is the old front lower, and they're very different. Okay, so now we're ready to go back together with the new springs. So it's pretty straightforward stuff. It's the reverse of the removal, so it's just the shorter spring, which is that one there, goes on first, and then you can see in my In my hands I've got the crossover cup, or I don't know what you'd call that really. Try not to throw them around like I am. But yeah, so small spring on first, then your crossover cup, and then obviously the larger lower spring. The springs from Shock Therapy were labelled anyway, so I really couldn't get them wrong. And then I'm just checking here to make sure I've got them the right way up. I don't know if it matters, it probably doesn't, but it was nice to just get them the right way up. So small spring, crossover cup or guide, and then this spring here, which is the lower one. It's pretty straightforward stuff, you know, just try not to get your fingers trapped. And once you push those on, then it's a case of compressing up the springs a bit to be able to get the cup in. Luckily, the overall length of both springs from Shock Therapy was shorter than the factory springs, which meant I could almost get it in just with a helping hand here from Ethan, who just is compressing the spring by hand a little, allowed me to get the cup in. And once we'd got it moved sort of a ½ inch, it just sort of slid in place, and that was it. The springs are on. There we go then, so springs assembled. There's no tension, or there's a very small amount of tension on there at the minute. If we put it down on the ground, the ride height will be awful. The only thing to do now is to move these crossover rings up. Okay, now so I've got to set the ride height and start putting some tension on these springs. So I've got my ratchet strap again, and I'm compressing the springs down, which is going to free up the nuts at the top and help me screw them down basically and get some ride height. So we've got one side done, the other side done now. I'm going to even them out and sort of guess how much to go with, get the car assembled, put it down, check it, and then adjust from there. So we'll put the rest of the car back together again because we've done a shaft swap at the same time, and then we'll go from there. So time to get the wheels back on. Like I say, we sort of guessed how much preload was to go on the shocks, and that would set our ride height. So now it's just a case of drop her down, wind back those crossover rings, make sure she's not sitting on the bottom spring, which it was at this point, so we're just loosening them off a little more. Drop it down, compress the springs, let it settle. You can see there that it dropped right down to a really poor ride height, which we decided was way too low. So then we've jacked it back up, and now we're just adding a bit more tension. And you can see now that this ride height is so much better. Onto the rear now then. Wheels off, obviously. The rears are so much easier, and for us, we were only doing the shocks on the rear. When we did the front, we were doing a ton of other stuff as well. So I'm starting here, removing the limit straps, and then that lower shock bolt to get the shock off. And we're going to take the top shock bolt off as well. And that just means that the shock itself will come off the car and dangle down. Just gives us a bit more space to work with the top end of the shock where the tensioning rings are and stuff like that. So you can see there we've got a ton of space now to work on the shock. So the process is basically the same as the front. I'm just wire brushing the threads off and then just winding the lock nuts up right to the top so we can take all the tension off the springs, and that'll let us get it off. So here I'm just getting the ratchet strap just to compress that a bit, and what it does is it frees up the top nuts and lets me spin them around a ton easier than if the spring's pressing on them. You can see it came to pieces pretty straightforward there. So you just lift out the bottom cup, and the springs drop off. Again, just wire brushing up the threads loads. I wish we'd cleaned the car before. New springs there, and you can see the massive difference really. So on the left hand side, obviously the new ones, right hand side, or forefront is the old ones. You can tell the paint differs, and you can see the difference in the sizing. So very, very different. Uppers completely different. The actual overall height of both springs together was different, new versus old. You can see the heights there. Reassembly now, again super straightforward. So I'm winding up all the nuts, getting everything loose, freeing off those crossover nuts as well so they move freely, because the difference in size of spring means we're going to have to move them. Super easy, you know, I flew through it there. Just a little bit of help from Ethan again to lift the shock up, the springs up to compress them. And now it's a case of winding the tensioning nut down to add tension onto those springs. And you can see us measuring the amount of thread at the top so we can even it out left to right before we put it down. And we sort of guessed on the tension again. It was like 4 inches of thread showing at the top. And now it's a case of just bolting the shocks back up, and if we need to adjust, we can from there. On this car we needed to put the top shock mount in first before we could get the lower mount in, and because it's got aftermarket trailing arms. So it was a bit of a fight to do, but we got it in there, remembering to put the limit strap on as well. Wheels back on now then, and we'll drop it down, compress the springs up a bit by jumping on the car, let it settle, measure the belly height, which I knew to be 15 inches, and actually we landed really lucky, and this time the guess was really good. So we're just setting the crossover rings now. And these are going to be 2.5 inches from the plastic crossover ring. Settle her down and she looks great. So it's just a case of adjusting those lock nuts, tighten it down, and I think we're done on the rear then. Here she is then, sitting at ride height. Looks good, I'm quite happy with that. Ready to go out and give it a blast, try it. The shock therapy springs fit really well. Lock nuts all tightened up, limit straps, cable tied to the springs again, just so they don't flop around. And yeah, really happy with them. Looks good, it sits really well. Here at ride height, everything's tightened back up on the rear as well. So yeah, can't complain, and just really eager now to test it, see what she does.
Okay, so that's it. We got through that pretty well. It wasn't too bad of a job. Obviously, we tackled a shaft change as well on the left-hand side there at the same time. So it took a little bit longer than it should have if we were just doing the springs. But she's all set now. We've got it to ride height. We're going to go out and test it. It wasn't too bad of a job. It definitely feels a lot firmer. Just for the little silly things when you're getting in and out of the vehicle, you can tell it doesn't move so much, so they're definitely going to make a big difference. So yeah, we're going to get out and give it a try. So if you like that video, guys, please hit the subscribe button. It'd be great to get our subscribers up. We'll be doing a lot more videos on the Can-Am through the race season as we tackle different jobs. We've got a full strip out to come before we get into the race season. And there's a bunch of other things we're going to do with that. Obviously, we've got our other projects with the Series EV that we're doing right now, and a bunch of other stuff that we're doing. So hit the subscribe button.